Hi Scorpio, welcome to your reading. This is going to be for September 2023. It is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. If this one doesn't resonate, definitely check out those other placements. It is a general reading, so it may not resonate for everyone who watches. So we're going to get into your current energy, the near future, which you don't see coming, and then what Spirit wants you to focus on this month. Then we are going to clarify, and then we'll get into you and your person, or whoever's on your mind, those love messages. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you guys for all of your support. I so appreciate you all. And if you are new, welcome. I do hope if you enjoy the messages, you'll consider subscribing, hitting that like button. And if you would like a personal reading, that information's in the description box below or the About section of my channel. Okay. Let's see what's going on with you. All right, let's check out your overall energy. We have the Sun. Okay. Haven't seen that in a long time, coming out as the overall energy. So this month seems, I just heard the tables are turning. So things are going to be a little bit lighter, a sense of happiness, working up to your birthday season, which is a little bit away. But there's something about, I just feel light energy. Something's lighter, happier, a little bit more carefree. Let's get into your current energy. So we have the Six of Wands in reverse with the Four of Cups in reverse and the Six of Swords. So this is going to be significant. And I think this has to do with a release of energy surrounding around expectation. If something had not seemed to be moving in the direction that you had hoped, or it just didn't seem like it was creating the success that you want, it isn't that that's not going to happen. That's not what this means. To me, this is saying that you're recognizing that you need to pick and choose the things that come in and what's going to bring the most joy and happiness into your life. Not that we don't do that with intention at any given time in our lives, but I think you're going to get really choosy, because putting efforts into something in hopes that it's going to create success doesn't always end up meaning that it's going to be successful, because some things we have to learn from. But I think for you, this is just the energy of the way you think about things. Because it feels like with the Six of Swords, you get to a much better space in how you think about these things. So it isn't always the circumstances. It could just be the energy, how you feel about it, how you look at it. So I think you're going to relax a little bit and allow things to just kind of go the way that they are. So you're not going to feel as much stress and not be as worried about whether something is going to be successful. Now, if there is someone that you were experiencing a relation, let's say it's a relationship, and it's something that you just realized, you finally said, I've come to an end of this. I need a little peace of mind, and I think that's what's going to make me happier. And then it doesn't matter what this person brings to the table. I just don't think you're going to look at it. I don't even think you're going to give it a second thought. I think you've just realized that something had to come to an end and making peace with it within. And I think you'll find that it's going to make you a lot happier. So in the near future, we have the Nine of Wands, or I'm sorry, Swords, with the Tower in reverse. There's your card. See, something already blew up, and you recognize that when you focus on the success of something, not that it's not going to be stressful. Sometimes when we make a choice, because we know it's going to make us feel better long-term, it doesn't mean that we don't stress about it a little bit. But because this is your near future energy, it seems to me as though something's already fallen apart. Will you have some evenings where you might feel a little bit stressed? Is there still going to be some times when maybe you think about it, or you just recognize how much it was stressing you out before? And that's part of the reason why you're deciding to go to a different place in your head about how you feel and what you want this to look like and what's going to bring the most solitude and the most happiness. I don't mean solitude like you have to step away and be alone. Is it going to be a peaceful choice, even if there's some pain or a little bit of stress connected to it? So the Tower in reverse, we then have the World. Again, new cycles, always. Anytime something happens in our life, and it could be on a daily basis, it means we're starting some new cycle. So this month for you, it's a choice. It feels like I'm choosing for this to be better. I want this to change. Some decisions already been made. Yes, it can seem a little stressful at times, but I have to go down this new path. I have to try new things. I have to allow this new cycle to open up for me. even if it seems a little scary. So what you don't see coming is the King of Swords in reverse with the Three of Wands and Justice in reverse. If any of you are looking for someone to be really honest and you've been waiting either for an apology or for somebody to work with integrity, you're going to recognize that having that expectation is what really creates the stress in the first place. And I think you realize that sometimes you're waiting in vain because the Justice is in reverse. So that's why I feel like you're trying to get to a better place in your mind about how you feel about these things. And that's what allows the World card to come in and shift this cycle. It isn't necessarily that the person changes or the circumstances. Like I said before, it's how you think about them and how you feel about them. And it really is a choice. Do we want to feel this way, or do we choose to see it maybe with a little bit of indifference and just choose happiness versus allowing ourselves to let these other people, external circumstances, stress us out? If there is no control over whether something is going to fall away from our lives, it can feel frustrating. But at the same time, it's like Spirit's trying to emphasize, if you allow this to break away and you don't resist this change we're trying to bring for you, then you're going to see how much more joy you're going to experience. Now, what Spirit wants you to focus on is the Hermit with the Seven of Wands and the Devil's below that. So what does that mean? It means that you are coming out of a place of a lot of inner reflection. And the Seven of Wands there's two different ways we can look at this, because it can feel a little bit burdensome when there's a lot of attention on us, or when we feel like we have to defend ourselves. I think you realize that defending yourself is one of your greatest attributes. And whether these situations have been toxic in the past, you recognize that you had to part ways from them because they were no longer bringing you. So you were illuminated, if you will. You were enlightened about some things that maybe you felt bound to, and your thought processes were probably part of that. And it felt like you just couldn't release that tie to that. When we've experienced so much, I don't want to say it's all trauma necessarily, but when we've experienced a lot of different situations that have brought about discomfort and unhappiness, we sometimes can feel bound to that energy, like we can't release it. Like, how do I get to the other side of this so I stop feeling this same emotion over and over again? And I think you realize that you standing up for yourself, speaking very clearly about no matter how much people are coming at you, and I feel like a lot of them will at times, you have to stand your ground and say, I have no obligation to these situations. My peace, my happiness, that's what matters. And that's where my focus is going to be. So what challenge do we have? We have the Four of Wands. And then I'm going to pull another one with the Seven of Swords. So the Four of Wands can be little bits of challenges, maybe around something to do with family or partnerships or homes, just a marriage, something connected to long-term or thoughts about what long-term is supposed to look like. It feels like there may be a little challenge around that, but again, it's your perception. How do you perceive that situation? How much do you feel bound to that same type of energy, and how much do you want to experience something different? Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify with the Sun. So we have the Chariot. That's great because that means there's a lot of movement. So where things may have felt like they were standing still, even something that was uncomfortable, there's a lot of movement. There's things moving forward. Now, this could be a traveling card as well. So some of you may decide to take some short trips or do something that brings a lot of joy into your life. Anytime you're moving or changing your location, it helps clear your energy. So I would take advantage of anything that pops up that allows you to get away from your home base or your traditional space where you spend most of your time. I think that's going to bring a lot of joy. The Star is in reverse. This could be unexpected, and it could also be very healing. So when the Star's in the upright, you're in the process. To me, this is moving through it and coming to the other side of it. And the Chariot with the Star in reverse tells me you're moving through pains or issues or something that you hadn't healed from. And that also brings a lot of joy. Then we have the Page of Pentacles right after that, which means there's a new expression of yourself. There's some new way you're going to be doing things. It could be around the way you do your work, having a new way of looking at it, how you look at your money and your finances. All of those things could be experienced. And when you come to grasps with where things are and you're happy and okay, that's when something new can come about and you can really put your energy into it. So it's being okay with exactly where you are and then shifting into how can I create something new. For some of you, this may be the time in which you want to explore something new. And it's going to be really great and it will bring you a lot of joy. So that's a good sign. If you've been looking for that answer, that's your answer. Tower in reverse, we have that twice because something else was breaking down and falling apart. And you're recognizing, okay, well, this wasn't successful. This wasn't working. So what's next? Where do I start next? Where do I put my energy and focus so that it brings me joy if you weren't feeling it in the past? So the Six of Wands with the Four of Cups in reverse, we have the Knight of Cups. Yep, moving forward in love. Some of you are going to take the initiative and start just following your heart, following your dreams. What is this? What do you want to explore this month that you really feel deeply connected to emotionally? Because it's going to be important. It's definitely letting something go that wasn't successful, whether it was a relationship or something to do with your job. It's more of a heart-based energy. That's going to get you where you want to go and certainly make you feel a lot calmer mentally. After that, we have the Ten of Wands because you've come to the end of one road. You just have. And the path is opening up for you. You've carried the weight of this for such a long period of time, whatever this is for you. The ideas that you had about how things should look or the feeling of just, God, do I always have to carry this weight? Do I always have to be the one to carry the weight of this? So you're getting to the end of that, and that's what's bringing that sense of peace. So the Nine of Swords with the Tower in reverse, we have the Fool in reverse. This is your future energy. So some of you might be feeling like it's just not time to take chances with things, and that could feel a little bit stressful. You may feel like you're not quite ready to take a step. It doesn't mean that the ideas won't be coming with the Page of Pentacles. Things could be brewing behind the scenes, and maybe you're just feeling like, I don't really know if I have the energy. And I feel like there's some fear connected to this as well. But you knew that something had to break away. Something's changing that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's because they're bringing in this new way of doing things. And it's always uncomfortable when change happens. So the Tower in reverse with the World, Five of Swords is in reverse. In the upright, he has won the battle. So there may still be just a tad bit of that internal conflict going along with this moving forward. Doesn't mean you aren't going to be taking the steps or following the things that feel joyful. There's just some reflection on the things that have already broken apart and how they're changing and how uncomfortable it can feel like. You want to be out of the battle, is what I sense. So the King of Swords in reverse with the Three of Wands, we have the Three of Swords. So somebody that wasn't honest with you, you had waited maybe to hear an apology, or you wanted something that really hurt you. I think you're going to realize that dealing with it within and getting beyond the hurt of that is what's best for you, because waiting for somebody else and their actions to give you a sense of I'm okay or at peace, it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't. And I think you realize that. So the Three of Wands with the Justice in reverse, we have the Seven of Cups. This can be a little bit confusing and frustrating. Maybe you're a little frustrated as to why somebody couldn't be honest with you. Yeah, a little heartbreaking in the past, but it seems like you're working your way through it and opening up some new options. For some of you, you could be thinking about wanting to open up to new love. If there had been some ideas of whether you should stay in a relationship or not, and you haven't been really honest with yourself about the fact that you've been waiting for something to look a certain way, you've healed from something significant. And I don't think it's connected to this person or situation. I think you just needed to heal on your own. So the Seven of Cups, again, sometimes it can be confusing when there's a lot of different options out there. It's like, which way do I go? I want this to be fulfilled and I want to fulfill that. I just think you're going to allow yourself to be more open. So what Spirit wants you to focus on with the Hermit in reverse and the Seven of Wands, we have the Nine of Cups. Again, fulfillment. Overindulging a little bit. Be cautious of that because that can be that as well. But I do think there's going to be a lot, and it may make you feel really good. Maybe you're going to get a lot of attention now that you're coming out of this little shell, if you will, and you're more enlightened. When our energy is up because we've come out of a space of taking some time to ourselves, doing some healing, we can be really vibrant. So your energy is probably going to be shining. And I would say keep your eyes open, because those things that you felt bound to in the past, those not being connected to your energy any longer, certainly bring about a lot of attention because your energy is clear. So there could be a lot of really fulfilling things, and they want you to focus on those. What fulfills you? What makes you truly, truly happy at your core? The Seven of Wands with the Devil here, we have the Ten of Cups in reverse, because there's just no question that the things you felt bound to that weren't making you happy, you recognize now that you just can't allow yourself to stay stuck in that energy. Too much has changed. Too much is shifting for you. So the Four of Wands with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Lovers in reverse. It's a challenge. So for a lot of you, it has been a challenge to let go of whatever relationship it is. It doesn't matter when it was, 2 years, 10 years, however long it's been, even if you're already in another relationship. When we have that one that's a residual one, the one that really affected us quite a bit, ignited us into a massive shift or change, it's tough to get past that. Loss of, marriages, relationships, whatever that may be. It was definitely hard. But I think you realize now that you can't be bound to that any longer. You're freeing yourself. And as you spend more time standing up for you and going after what you want, that attracts the right types of energies to you. Okay, so I'm going to clear this. So pardon my reach. And we'll get into love or whoever's on your mind. So think about that person for just a moment. And we will get into them. If you are leaving at this point and not sticking around, please hit that like button on the way out. And we'll see what's going on. For those of you that are sticking with me, thank you for that. And let's see. Let's see what first is your person's energy right now, or whoever's on your mind. Okay, so your person's energy, it feels like withdrawn, definitely withdrawn, or doing a lot of inner reflecting. So they could seem like they're not being very forthright, is what I'd say. Do I think they're lying about something? Not necessarily. I just don't think right now they're in a position where they can be completely transparent. We have the Ten of Wands. They've gotten over something that was quite difficult. Yeah, they're done. They're done with something. I don't know whether it's they're done with you, but they're done. They're done with any kind of betrayal. I think they needed to heal from some kind of betrayal. So it doesn't matter where you are in this energy. Just take what resonates, because it could be meaningful to someone in a relationship, out of a relationship, or whatever, whoever it was that was on your mind. Whoever this is done. They're definitely done feeling betrayed, and they're definitely in a place of inner reflection. So your energy, we have the Ace of Swords. You're not clear about where this person stands. Six of Wands. You could be focusing again on yourself and your success, because this is outward energy away from the person. The Seven of Pentacles. You could have been waiting for some time for things to work out, but the Ten of Pentacles is in reverse. And it just doesn't seem like it is. Now, I'm not saying you're the one that hurt this person. Maybe you did. Maybe a part of you wasn't sure, and you had to wait to see where things were going to go. I just think that person had a lot to deal with, and I think you recognize that. But do you think this is your absolute end all? I'm not sure. The Six of Wands in the other direction would say part of you may be tired of waiting to see where things are going to go. And if it hasn't become that, I don't want to say ideal, because the ideal means something different to everyone. If it didn't end up being what you expected, that could be it. And that could be why your person may feel a little betrayed, and maybe they're doing some inner reflection. Maybe you realize this wasn't the person for you. And now all of a sudden you're like, I don't know what to do because I've waited for some time. I was hoping this was going to grow, but I'm focusing my energy now elsewhere, or I'm starting to want to because I'm not clear about what I want. Let's see what we get with the romance angels. Sorry if you hear that. My chair tends to rub up against the table. Okay, so unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So you could feel that way. And I do feel like this is really you feeling this way, and your person may feel a little bit betrayed by that. Reconciliation, someone from your past is returning to your life. We know with all the retrogrades, this is always possible. Does this mean that this person's coming back to you? You're going back to them? Is there some sort of reconciliation? It depends on the two of you and the choices you make, but it is an absolute possibility. Some of you may be desiring reconciliation because a current situation is unrequited. And then we have new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Makes sense to me with the way your energy is looking. So maybe there is somebody new, or you have your sights set on someone new. Let's get one more. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other if you feel compelled to do so. I do think there's definitely a feeling of this just doesn't work for me with you. So you may be wanting to express how you're feeling to your person. Nobody wants to hurt anybody. But if it isn't working for you and it isn't making you happy, clearly you have to do what's right for you. Let's see what the outcome is and if there's any advice from Spirit. This is for Scorpio. All right, so the outcome of the situation is the Star. It seems as though your person is hoping, I want to lay that right where they are, that maybe they'll be enlightened about this, but it is also about healing as well. So it may just be that two people need to separately heal and decide what it is that they are hoping for. What are you wishing for? What do you really, really, really want? Don't stop praying for what you want. And then we have the Tower. So something's definitely falling apart. Some aspect of the relationship or the relationship itself. And you're taking the time to heal, and that person needs to as well. And then we have the Six of Wands. So something about this seems to be what the primary focus should be. So you standing there like, okay, I feel like this is the right move. I feel like I'm making the right choice. And then we have Empress in reverse. So something's not growing. She's all about birthing new things and something, things growing and nurturing. And if it's not being nurtured, obviously there's a reason for that. Now, what's the advice for you? King of Swords, stand in your truth. Be honest with yourself more than anything. Be honest with yourself first. And stand with integrity. And I think that's what you're doing. You're just saying, this is how I feel. This is what I want. There's just no two shits about it. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So it's taking action, opening things up, being accepting to how quickly this energy is moving. That's the advice, is to allow that to keep going. And then we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Don't think about the future too much. Try to learn how to go with the flow with this energy. Because I feel like that's the advice, is not to focus too much on the future. Just keep heading towards what feels right, what you're passionate about, what are you driven by. All right, let's get a couple of cards from the Lover's Oracle. This is for Scorpio. Okay, soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. Doesn't matter what that is to you. A soulmate, someone from your past, someone from your future. Whoever this is, the person that you consider the right match for you at this time. Romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. For some of you, that means something new is definitely coming in, or there's going to be a feeling of love. Maybe a friendship turns to love. Forgiveness, stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality with what you think, dream, and imagine. We always do. We say that, well, just because I have a negative thought doesn't mean you're going to create something negative. That's not the point. The point is you can have an emotion. So what you think about, I hate to say this, it's cliche, but you bring about. So if you focus on that, sure, you're going to have a negative response to it. So if you're still aggravated or frustrated about how something happened, how it unfolded, then of course forgiveness is important. Nobody can tell you how to do that or how to process that. But yes, of course, Spirit's always going to say that is the best avenue to go because it's more peaceful for you. And then Secret Admirer, someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. There you go. So there may be somebody lurking in the shadows, if you will. All right. Or somebody else. Somebody that maybe you're thinking about has deeper feelings than they're letting on. Okay, so we have time for a nap. Interesting, because that came out for Pisces as well. When you feel the need for rest, take it this month. I think Spirit's trying to tell you, don't worry. The world is still going to move, and it's okay for you to take a break. You need to allow yourself that time. You could be 24, born on the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, or the 24th. So exchanging gifts. This is a 9. So it doesn't have to mean that it's an ending necessarily, but there is something that's really important for you to do. I think you're recognizing that it's a, give and take is extremely important. No doubt. You could be 27, born on the 27th, the 2nd, the 7th, or the 9th. And then we have Thinker. So yeah, you could be processing a lot of different emotions this month, no doubt. You could be 44, born on the 4th or the 8th of the month. And then we have Building Blocks. For some of you, this is something new is coming. Like I said before, the World card was coming in. So part of you knows that it takes time to rebuild when we've had something that's broken down or fallen apart. And this is it. This is that time where you're rebuilding some aspect of your life. So you could be 28, born on the 2nd, the 8th, the 10th, I want to say even the 1st of the month as well. A lot of rebuilding energy and focusing on what you want to create moving forward. All right, my loves, those were your messages. Thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart for being here with me. Please hit that like button on your way out. And again, if you'd like a personal reading, the information is in the description box below or in the About section of my channel. I hope you guys have an incredible month. Take advantage of this energy and allow yourself to move through and with this a new cycle in your life, because it seems like it's trying to bring a lot of joy in. So I'm sending you my love. Take care, and I'll see ya.